Good evening, everybody at home watching. Welcome to round 2 of the ART Amigos Racing Team Roulette Race. I'm the commentator for the evening, SuperSquid, and you join us, it's actually at the waiting room of Lago Maggiore Centre, where, as you can see, our drivers are getting to grips with the Honda 2 and 4, this evening's vehicle of choice. Before we get started, if you're interested in taking part in the Amigos Racing Team community, we've got a wide range of events, a wide range of driver abilities, ranging from Master Touring Roadsters for our beginner drivers, all the way up to super endurance events every few Sundays. If you'd like to take part, the link to our Discord should be in the description for you now, along with our Facebook page and our official website, which will have all the leagues and events on offer. As mentioned, though, you are watching the roulette race. So for those new to the format, the drivers are given a car on the Wednesday. They can get a livery, have a bit of a practice and a drive around in it, but all the tracks will be decided by myself tonight. You're going to have 3 races, two races with a 7-minute qualifier, and then a 15-minute sprint race. And the final race will be a reverse grid based on race 2 with no practice or qualifying, just straight into that race with no warm-up, which is always guaranteed to throw a few people off track. So, as we're about to get started, I better load up my roulette wheel and see where we're going. This is what loads up a little bit of insight about the Honda 2 and 4. Very small car, as we can see here, which you can get literally on board with here with no hassle. A single-seater. Very, very cosy inside there. Interesting HUD. Not very interesting driving though, or this is no hassle at its finest. It's got about 260 horsepower, weighs about 400 kilos, so it's very comparable to, a Caterham, if we had those in the game. But the drives we find is pretty frisky at the end of the day, especially on the hard tyres. So let's have a look and see where we end up first. Let's get ready to pick our track. So our first spin takes us to Sardinia Sea, where we spent a fair bit at Sardinia last week. And I think actually it was Sardinia Sea last race. I think No Hassle is going to be very unhappy with this one, given his close encounter with the pit wall last time. So, as long as Gran Turismo doesn't kick anybody out, we're going to go again at Sardinia. And it looks like the game has crashed for a fair few people. We love to see it. So that's 3 victims already. 4. 5. For those of you who are maybe new to the series, it's not uncommon for Gran Turismo to do this. But hopefully the drivers will be with us in a few moments. I think we're going to have somebody inform us in the chat about the game crashing. And we'll be back in a moment. Hopefully I've got some copyright-free music I can play in the background. We'll have to see. In the meantime, let's have maybe look at someone who's out on track. We've got Wayno out on track here. So we'll follow board with Wayno as he gets a little bit of practice in. Wayno, of course, the host of the previous Friday night event, the Group 4 MR Challenge that I commentated on. If you want to check that out, feel free to have a look through our YouTube videos. It was a really, really exciting event. I was very privileged to commentate on it, and big thank you to Wayno for a great job on hosting that series. Recently raced with him last Sunday in our Super Endurance round Suzuka. I think I served him a bit of a cappuccino, if I might say so myself, but he took great pleasure in photographing a very dramatic spin I had in my Dodge Viper. So the spin's temporary, but the photos are forever, it seems. It's going to bore them with someone else. We've got Mario out there in his 2 and 4. You can see he's got the Amigos livery on there, a famous colour purple and green that we tend to enjoy seeing on the car. Is my keyboard not working there? No, it should be. No keyboard. Okay, let's try that one again. Very strange. Of course, Gran Turismo crashes, everybody leaves the lobby, my keyboard stops working, there we go, much better. So I think we can only get the cockpit cam on the controller. I'm still getting used to this, it's not very good. Nick asked in the chat, game crashed, we're just rejoining, yeah. So, not the most practical thing, by any means. Also, if anyone is there in the comments, if you could just let me know that you can hear the commentary, because a few weeks ago we did have an issue without any audio for the first half of the video, and of course that's not something I want to deal with any longer than we have to. Doesn't sound great when you've got a race going on, you've got no idea what's happening because there's no sound in the background. So as you can see there with Kenobi, it does get very slidey, the 2 and 4. With the engine being at the back, obviously that's where a lot of the weight is centred, and you can't really throw it into the corners. So we're more of a challenge for our drivers on the controller. If you are lucky enough to be on the wheel, however, I'm sure it will be a little bit easier to manage. As I think that was Cuzzy there, going for an interesting line into the last corner. So if we run on board with Cuzzy, known for his wonderfully graffitied liveries on his car there. I think as we follow him down after turn 1, we'll see perhaps which youth has decorated his car. So there's Cuzzy with the bright pink wheels. I don't think we'll miss him as he gets his way around the track. Tom Williams is back in the format. It's nice to see Tom Williams back. He's currently just 7th in the running order as people are still, I think, joining the lobby. Yes, you can see there getting a little bit slidey as Wayno as well. Looks like he's just missed the entry and exit there at turn 1. So I'm sure this will catch a few drivers out. As we say, we're about to go into a 7-minute qualifier and a 15-minute race once everybody is back in the lobby. So it's a quick check at who we've got. We're at 13, so I think it's only 2 more people. If that. Let's have a quick check. Okay. Those of you watching at home, this doesn't normally happen. It's a bit of a shame. But I think we're just waiting on Mike. I think once Mike is back in, we should be alright. I'll quickly ask the guys in the game, just to see if that is the case. So, in the meantime, we'll have a look on board with a Carrot Cruncher. The artist formerly known as GT Rabbit. He decided to appear tonight as his alter ego Carrot Cruncher. Although he's crunching the barrier there more than the vegetables. I've been told that Mike is not getting back in, so we are going to go into qualifying, I think. So, 7 minutes of qualifying. How hard can it be? In the words of the famous motoring journalist of Top Gear. I think we're about to find out. Let's get underway for a 5 or 7 minute qualifying session. So if you've got any ART veterans in the comments, place your bets. Who you think is going to be our winner of round 1? We know Kenobi was lightning fast here in his first event. But my money is going to be on Cuzzy here, riding his badge, you know. Very consistent driver, very fast dude. Made a bit of a hash of it last week. But I think if he gets a couple of solid laps in, he will definitely be one to watch. So I think what we'll do, we'll see as they get around the track, we'll have a look. We'll run a ball with No Hassle, who we'll say had an interesting encounter with the pit wall at this very circuit last time around. You can see they're really trying to throw the car into that downhill right-hand kink. But he's got to be really careful coming into this last corner. You see he's already slightly off balance with the brakes there, running very wide, but he's going to try and push the car through and gain lots of momentum as he heads down to start his first fly lap. So crossing the timing line just under the Sardinia board, and he is underway. So he's probably going to have, I would estimate, maybe about, say, 7 or 8 laps attempts to get it right. But he's not quite got it right there. So better next time. We're on board, I think, then with Brett, who's just gone past him, unfortunately. Brett, also an extremely quick driver. Was in very hot contention for winning the Group 4 MR Challenge a few weeks ago, but unfortunately a couple of unfortunate incidents and some strange strategy decisions put paid to his championship chances. Maybe another stand a better chance in the roulette race, where of course everything seems to be up to fate. So Brett taking that final left-hand hairpin nice and tight, running wide out towards the pit lane entrance. That isn't out of track limits, they are allowed to use that. And he's going to set the initial benchmark of a 54 seconds, 0.0. Is anybody going to beat that after their first hot lap? Let's have a look. We've got 1 or 2.55 there as Brett makes a bit of a hash of the entry there to turn 1. Is that distraction tactic? Who knows? Looks like Bradley Carter there is the second in command at the moment, but he's also carried a little bit too much into turn 1 and clipping the grass either side there. Grass shouldn't be anything new for Bradley Carter as our real-life rallycross driver. But these possibly aren't quite as well equipped to handle the grass, I don't think, as the Suzuki Swift that he'll be piloting this year. A Carrot Cruncher, though, storming his way into second place now. So perhaps when his parents were telling him to eat his vegetables as a kid, this was his calling. But of course, we have got another 4 minutes of qualifying left, so we'll have to see if the Carrot Cruncher is going to stay on the top of the pops. Not with a spin like that, though. Wayno takes his place then instead with a 54.698. But still, 0.6 off of Brett Rickett, and at that rate, he will storm away with the race win. So we need someone to really close that gap down to the Belgian. Nick Noon thinks he had a chance, but right now his fastest time only is good enough for 8th place at 55.3. The New Zealander not able to get into that top 5 for the time being. Cantona is setting his fastest time so far of a 58.7, which I think is good enough for 10th place at 12th place. So he's in 12th at the moment. 4 seconds up on MFC Dawes, who's obviously not a chance to set a consistent lap time yet, but we'll have to see what he has in store. No Hassle then, putting it up into second place, taking the fight to Brett with a 54.4. So he's definitely capable of putting a good lap in when he meets his braking points. Really sliding it through there, almost go-kart style. Let's have a look at that one. We'll have a look at how much lock he's putting on as he hurls that car through the hairpin. We see there, smashing down into third gear. Possibly that was maybe the gear change that's unsettled the car as he makes his way out of the corner there. Nick Noon now up into third place, that 54.5. But No Hassle, we see they're going purple, meaning he has the fastest current potential lap time if he keeps up that pace through the first sector. Running slightly wide out the hairpin, that's probably going to compromise his exit speed and might cost him that couple of tenths that he's gained in the first half of the lap. We'll have to see as he crosses the line. He's going to set a 54.2, an improvement of a tenth and a half, but not enough there. Meanwhile, Willie D breaking into the 53s with a 53.5, which I think puts him about half a second up on Brett Rickett. Bradley Carter follows him through the 53.9. So we've now got a complete change at the top of our grid as we head into the last 2 minutes of qualifying. We've got Willie D now sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard. As you're on board with Willie D, we can see he's probably just sneaking into that slipstream of Brett Rickett, looking for that toe down the hill and back up. He's now already almost 5 tenths, I should say, up on his personal best. So we could even see a 52 if he nails this last corner. Let's have a look as he heads into the hairpin. We can see that hogging the apex nice and tight, washing wide, but maybe a little too wide. He's on the grass, clipped the barriers, kept it on the track. A lot of sideways action there from Willie D. That'd be a great photo, but not a great lap time. Brett consequently is going to take that first place back with a 53.521. So only 200th of a second better than the Brit, but every split second counts, especially around such a short track as Sardinia Sea. We've now got 1 minute left of qualifying. Kenobi set his fastest time of 54.9, but still nowhere near the top of the charts. I think we've got Dexter there in the comments cheering on Daddy Mike. Let's hope he can get back into the racing this evening. I hope you're doing well, Dexter, and that you have a nice weekend, my friend. So Willie D, as he passes through the first sector, will he be able to take the podium back off of Brett Rickett? He's got about 25 seconds to go, so he should have one more chance at a flying lap. Brett has given up on that lap. He's going to go for one more push before the end of the session, possibly trying to get some slipstream off of Willie D. He crosses the line, and it's no improvement for the time being. So we still have Brett Rickett in first, Willie D second, Bradley Carter taking third place on the grid, closely followed by Nick Noon in fourth. A little bit slidey there into the final corner. He's not going to have time for a final lap, but he is going to have time for a couple of fantastic looking drifts as he ends his qualifying session. He's been demoted down to fourth place, but we'll have to see if that changes as Cuzzy now sets a 54.4. He might have a chance for one more lap. I'm not too sure. Is he still going? No, he's done for the session then. So we have to see who is going to take that top spot. We've got Brett Rickett heading round to start off his first sector, but it's not improving. It's a 10-second loss, so he's definitely out of the standings to improve on his time. Will that leave him in danger from Willie D, who's about to cross the line? What is his time going to be? No, it's a second down, so he's still off of the pace. Bradley Carter comes across the line, a 10th off of the pace still, so he's not got a chance to improve. And I believe that is going to be our running order for the session. So we can see there, Brett Rickett, 200th of a second up on Willie Dean second. They're front row together, fighting down into turn one. Good evening, Jamie. Nice to have you in the comments. If you see Jamie Bronson in the comments, message him about guitar lessons. He's a fantastic guitar teacher, and you'll guarantee make improvements off of him. He's not the sponsor of our video, but he's definitely worth a shout out. Hope you're having a nice evening, Jamie. So we're about to get underway with our 50-minute race. I think maybe we'll sit on board with no hassle as they're about to get underway. So you can see the lights all red, and we are now green to go. So if I can get the view inside No Hassle's car, I don't get it just yet. We'll run aboard the bumper cam instead. So No Hassle already jumping a place to fourth, ahead of Cuzzy there. You can see him in the rear view mirror at the top of the screen. And he's ahead of, he's gone for a very brave move there into turn one. He almost made it stick, but Brett Rickett is going to cut back underneath. And he keeps second place instead there, pushing Willie D, Cuzzy and Kenobi down the pack there. Brad's not had a very good start from second to sixth. Thank you, Jamie. Glad you like the commentary. This is the hard part now, though. So Brett is still in the way with a half-second lead already. Hassle's got Willie D right up his bumper, and they've got a slight gap now down to Kenobi. Cuzzy and Kenobi fighting over fourth place. Brad is just behind them in sixth place. So we're on a ball with him then as he heads into the hairpin. He has left the door open there to Nick Noon, but he's getting a bit too slidey, and he will not be able to make any gains there. So we can see as we cross the line, Brett has got a healthy lead over No Hassle. Willie D is now fighting with Cuzzy, who just overtakes him there for third place now. But will Willie D fight back in the braking zone? There's a little bit of contact there. Cuzzy's got to get it stopped. He's darted inside No Hassle. There's some door banging there. Well, I'd say door banging, but I don't think they've got any doors. And that leads the door to Kenobi, who takes an easy 2 places off of the pair of them. But I don't think we'll be happy with that. We've now got a squabble 4 cars wide heading into turn 4. Kenobi's gone very slowly there. Bradley Carter's having a look at the inside. Kenobi's washed very wide. Now he's sliding all across the track. He's lost 2 places in that battle there. Not very good there. But Kenobi, of course, driving at the single-seater car, very open air, no roof. This really is pod racing for the Jedi Knight there. However, Willie D has really lost out in this squabbling there, down to 6th place, but he should gain a place there. Kenobi runs very wide. He ain't sliding. Keep it out the pit wall, though. He does indeed. If you have a look further back now, I think we've got a Mario going side by side with Carrot Cruncher and Nick Noon heading down the straight into turn 1. This is fantastic. The drivers were screaming at the thought of driving this car, but I think we got some really good racing there as Nick Noon running very wide there into the gravel. What's happened to him? Let's have a quick replay. So we see Nick Noon on the outside. He's got the racing line. He's got plenty of time to stop it, but I think he's just too late on the brakes. Throws it into the corner, but just has no grip. Stuck out in the gravel trap. He's lost about 3 places there. Poor guy. Has gained 1 back though. I think someone just had an incident. But we get further up the pack into this squabble. We can see on the track map on the top right a huge train down from 2nd to maybe about 8th as Bradley there trying to defend strongly there from Cuzzy, who's got Willie D in his rear view as well. We jump on board there behind Brad. We can see this train starting to form up behind the rallycross driver. So he's got Cuzzy breathing down his tail. You can see the slipstream as Cuzzy now starts to gain on him. Only a 10th and a bit behind. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1? I don't think so. Cuzzy and Brad, very respectful drivers, giving each other some space. Of course, you can see we've got 12 minutes of our race left, so there's still plenty of time for mistakes. Plenty of time to gain places. Speaking of gaining places, Brett Raquette has seemed to have had a disaster there, and he's now down into 4th place. What can we see happen to him there? He heads into turn 1 all by himself. A very healthy lead there. Quite clean out of turn 1, but you see there he's clipped the wall following a dodgy exit on the rumble strip, and it's really killed all his momentum. Hasn't changed down the gears anyway, so he had no power out of the engine, and losing 3 places in 1 corner is not where he wants to be. Now he's battling with Kenobi as they head down the hill. You can see they're 2 wide, Willie D, Cuzzy, and Brett is now going to nip in front of Kenobi, hoping for the slipstream from Cuzzy. But if we ride on board, we're sure to see Kenobi slide back onto his rear bumper. Will he go for a move? Will he hug around the outside? He's going to stay out wide for the time being. Cut inside, but Brett's got a little bit slidey. Now we see Kenobi coming up on the inside and straight past him. Brett is not having any luck today at turn 2. Of course, these cars with the really, really sensitive suspension, open wheel, riding the rumble strips and the curbs is not something you want to do if it has any kind of incline at all. And this has cost Brett, plenty of time in just 2 laps already. And he needs to be making gains quickly. Of course, these rumble strips along here, where it's nice and flat, are very easily used. But where they start having a little bit more of a gradient, like the inside of this curb here, shouldn't really be touched. You can see there, the tyres getting very unsettled. Kenobi, I think, also having a bit of an accident there, running out wide. So these cars, while they're not very powerful, they are very, very light. And as such, the balance is extremely important. If we head to the front, though, we can see Bradley Carter taking the lead. We've got 10 minutes left of this race, so we're still a third through, but we've got plenty left in the tank. To the 8 of you watching, thanks for joining. Please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share with your friends. Get the channel growing, please. Get us out there in the YouTube algorithm. So Bradley Carter being trailed only by 3/10 by Willie D, but setting a purple sector 1 there, 3/10 up on the current best lap time. Surely we're going to see an improvement there, especially these drivers pushing each other to the absolute limit. And this is just race 1, bear in mind. Bradley holding in a very tight line there, but again clipping that rumble strip, maybe unsettling the Honda slightly. He has, however, managed to carry slight momentum out of turn 135, I was want to guess turn 9 there, and does claim the fast lap, but only by 0.08 of a second, so not much in it. Clearly lost some time there in sector 2 as Willie D starts looking a little bit wide, maybe trying to make himself known in Bradley's mirrors. You can see there Willie D really starting to close up now onto Bradley Carter, only 3/10 behind, or 3.5 behind I should say. So there, using the wider, flatter rumble strip, but trying to avoid this middle one, as Willie D slings the car through the corner there, getting very tail happy. You see those really aggressive steering inputs there, trying to get the car moving and pointing the way he wants it to go, but sometimes on the harder times it's not what you want, especially up here into a sideways braking zone. Willie D getting all kinds of drifting on there, but holding it very tidily. However, sideways isn't always the fastest, but you can see Bradley is now stretching away a little bit to 4/10 of a gap, but of course Willie D will bring that back in the slipstream. Meanwhile, I think we've got an incident up the back of the track, so Brett had another off there. Let's see what's happened to the Belgian. So, very crisp, clean entry into the hairpin there. So what has happened to him? He's run very wide on the grass, clipped the crash barrier, and he's put his foot down and lost it again. Poor Brett is not having a fun time in this Honda. And that spin, once he fully recovers, is going to drop him down to 10th place. Not where he wants to be. However, we know Brett, once he starts getting his lines right and starts developing consistency, he will storm back up the pack. So I'm sure we can see him in at least 8th place by the end of this event, provided there are no more slip-ups. So we go through our running order as the drivers make their way back around for lap 9. We've got Bradley Carter in first, Willie Dean second, Cuzzy in third, Kenobi chasing him down the straight in 4th place, Carrot Cruncher making his way past the pit lane now for 5th place. A very solid display there by the apparent vegan. No Hassle in 6th place, missing the pit wall like a pro. No, Nick Noon in 7th, Mario in 8th. Brett's already gained a place there on Wayno's. He's up to 9th now. Wayno also with a half-second penalty, presumably for track limits. For those of you who maybe aren't aware, if the drivers do cross the track limits, so the white lines on the edge, and gain an advantage, Gran Turismo will issue them with a penalty. They can dispose of that at any time. If they choose not to, it will be added on to their final race time and could cost them positions at the end. But we see there Brett already made his way past Wayno. I'm sure he's got a couple more positions left in him at least, and we'd love to see him make a fight back to the guys in the top 5. We head down a little further. We've got Dawes in 11th place in his very, very pink Honda there. He says he seems to like the girls who sim race. There is someone out there for everybody, I'm sure. We've got Tom Williams in 12th, not the best event for him. Maybe he'll do better at the next track. We'll have to have a look. We then have Carl Toner bringing up the back in 13th place. Looks like a pretty scary chicken on the front there, but hopefully his bird isn't cooked. He'll make a couple more places tonight. Meanwhile, it looks like Willie D and Bradley Carter are scrapping for the lead. Willie D, they're getting very unsettled. He's going to lose that place to Cuzzy, clean around the outside. Maybe we can get a quick shot of what happened there to Willie D. So he's battling with Bradley there into turn 4. We're very late on the brakes there, running into the gravel, clipping the barrier, and just not getting the grip. And we see there Cuzzy to go clean around the outside of Willie D. So good move there by Cuzzy, and he's going to extend that gap now to 1.2 seconds. So now he's got work cut out for him to get up to Bradley Carter within the next 5 minutes. Nonetheless, those three have a fairly healthy gap back to 4th place, which is Kenobi riding on his own with 3 seconds off from Carrot Cruncher. We then have No Hassle in 6th place, and Nick Noon trying to gain on him in 7th place. Marriage behind in 8th, and Brett chasing him down very closely now in 9th place. Goodness me, I'm getting all sorts of out of breath here. But I'm sure I say Brett should be working for at least 8th place by the end of this race. Let's see, is he going to line up a move on Mario anytime soon? Mario getting very slowly there, as does Brett. Brett's going to hold it around the outside, and that's an excellent move by the Belgian as he keeps that place heading down and then back up the hill into the last corner. So we get another clip of that there. So we see Brett looking at Mario, gets very slidey, just leaves the space on the outside. Good job there by Mario. But Brett will take that place any day of the week. Let's get a look back further front of the pack, because I think we've got a little battle going on here. I think it's for 3rd place there. There's Willie D and Cuzzy still going hammer and tong for those podium positions. Cuzzy defending there, a little bit of a wiggle on because he's gone very wide though. Willie D now up the inside. Now it's Cuzzy's turn to eat the barrier, and that's going to invite Kenobi into the battle there. And Kenobi's going to take up the inside before they get down the hill. Really opportunistic driving there by Kenobi. Good job. Cuzzy's now lost 2 places in 2 corners, and he's going to be fuming. Hopefully he'll have something to fight back with as we get to the last 4 minutes. So I think we're looking at another 5 laps of racing here at Sardinia. Carrot Cruncher trying to fend off No Hassle. We see that No Hassle gets a slightly better exit, and he's going to be level pegging with him as they head across the finish line. Maybe he's going to leave some space, duck back into the slipstream, and then try and take him down the hill. We're right on board then with No Hassle. Carrot Cruncher defending very aggressively to the left-hand side. No Hassle pulls out wide. Is he going to try and sling it around the outside? I think he is. They've both left space, and No Hassle is just going to get that move done into the chicane. Excellent driving there. Textbook overtaking, but Carrot Cruncher is not happy with that, and he's going to fight back into turn 4. Is there a move on here? I don't think so. No Hassle keeps it very clean there on the inside. Very good driving there by the yellow Honda driver. If we look a little bit further back as well, I think we've still got a battle here for 9th and 10th. We got, or maybe 9th and 10th, I think it might be a lapped car, I believe. I think that might be Tom Williams is not having a good time. Yes, he's a minute off from the lead, and he's had a bit of a crash there into the downhill section as well. Not what he needs. This should allow a calm Tony to make up 12th place, I believe. Oh, actually, Tom's been lapped. He's not having a good time at all. Poor Tom Williams. Let's have a look at the front of the pack then, as they head down into turn 2. Bradley Carter has a 2-second lead over Willie D, who in turn has a 3-second lead, very slidey there, over Kenobi. He's now Cuzzy on his tail. He's caught up very quickly, only a second in it. Carrot Cruncher has managed to get back past No Hassle, so he's made a mistake there, allowing Nick Noon up into 6th place. No Hassle's now got Brett on his tail. Brett is going to be hunting those places down. He can smell the blood like a shark in the water, and he's looking to get back into those top 5 positions. He's not got long to do it, but if these other drivers keep making mistakes, it's going to make his life a hell of a lot easier. Let's see as Brett chase No Hassle up into the hairpin. Both getting a little bit out of shape there, but Brett is going to carry that momentum through round the pit lane and right into No Hassle slipstream. So let's see, how is this going to affect his run down the track? So run on board then with Brett with the onboard camera. I love this onboard camera. He's going to make his move up the inside. He's going to make it stick. He's hard on the brakes. No Hassle is still very wide around the outside, and he's going to keep that place. Very smart drive in there. That's a very risky move to try and hold the outside line and leave space on the inside. But No Hassle has done very well there indeed. They are still right on each other's bumpers though as they head through that very wide sweeping left-hander and down the hill out of the sector 1. We see there Brett is really trying to control it as Hassle clips the wall. Brett's now on the inside as they head up this left-right kink up the hill into the last corner, and Brett's got that move done. Will No Hassle let it go for the time being? I think he will. Good driving from the Belgian. So we can see there Nick Noon and Carrot Cruncher just starting to get away a little bit. I think they've maybe let the battle go for the time being, and they're going to give it one more try. We've got a minute left, so these guys should have one more lap left in the tank. Meanwhile, Mario, I think, is probably just about ready to finish this lap, and that should be everything. So we've still got Bradley Carter, only 7 tenths now from Willie D, so he is reading them in. Bradley's definitely made a mistake somewhere. We've also got some lap traffic to deal with there indoors. Doors are going to pull off of the track. Very sensible aware driving there from the Man United fan. Oh, it's Man United, could be Middlesbrough, could be wrong. Oh, Mike's a Man United fan, my apologies. Bradley Carter's going to keep nice and tight, but you see he's already lost 4 tenths there, dealing with the traffic. Now Willie D is right up his slipstream, and will be considering a move. This is going to be the final lap of the race as they head down to turn 1. So let's run on board there with Willie D, see if he can get anywhere in this final segment of the event. Cut a little bit of the grass there. I'm not sure the stewards will be very keen on that one, but it has saved him a couple of hundredths as he digs deeper into Bradley Carter's slipstream. Now heading down into turn 4, the sweeping left-hander. Are they going to be very slidey? They're going to control it. You see Willie D wrestling with the wheel, but he's just about got it under control. Now 2 tenths behind Bradley Carter. Now within 2 tenths. So he's gaining all the way downhill. Bradley Carter getting very out of shape there as Willie D is weaving right and left, just trying to get past. Not for the time being. He's going to take a wider line, it looks like. Try and cut back underneath Bradley Carter as they head down to the line. And I think Bradley's just done enough to fend off Willie D. There's not really much left in it at all. But we're going to see our race winner there, Bradley Carter, by only 1.5 tenths of a second. Kenobi takes 3rd, and Cuzzy fighting back up to 4th. A good fight from him. Nick Noon is going to take 5th place, I think, as Brett maybe's had another accident, and he's going to be fighting with Carrot Cruncher over the line. Only 0.5 tenth in it for those two. No Hassle crossing the line in 8th place. And we then have Mario, Wayno, Dawes and Khan not finishing on the lead lap. So there's our race winner for event number 1, Bradley Carter. A quick sip of water, and then we're going to get into our driver interviews. Right, good evening everybody. You are live on ART TV. Please do not swear.
Okay.
No, I believe Bradley Carter's microphone isn't on tonight, so we're going to have a quick chat with Willie D.
Yeah,
it is on. Bradley, you are there. He is there. Congratulations,
I'm
Bradley.
here. Yeah.
How do you feel after that race?
Yeah, no, it was a good race with Willie. very respectful between the two of us. I thought he was just going to catch me at the end, but luckily managed to hold him off. So, yeah, fantastic race between us.
It was a very close fought race indeed. Willie D, how were you feeling heading into that last lap? Because you were very racy there, right up to the final corner. No, it's easily done, but that's fair. I say it is easy done, but of course that's something we pride ourselves on here at ART. Clean, competitive racing. You've definitely shown that, guys, today. Well done. I think I have one more with no hassle. You've missed the pit bulls today.
God.
Congratulations.
Yes, that's a congratulation. I will be honest, I still have hit a wall though. Going through the S's, I hit a wall. Yeah, so it's still...
You just love it, don't you?
The treble is still on. Mate, it's what I come for, you know?
Well, if you're into being a bit of a grinder, there's an app for that. But let's try and keep it off of the barriers, okay?
Yeah, Carrot Cruncher told me about that, but yeah, I'm alright, thanks.
So that's what they call them, carrots nowadays, I see.
I told him Tinder, not Grinder, Tinder.
Sorry. Jeez.
Other dating apps are available. On that note, guys,
Fish is a cracker. Plenty of Fish is a cracker.
I'm going to leave you guys to it. Get ready for race 2. Well done, boys.
Thank you.
So it's a slightly more adult event, I think, this one tonight. Anyways, let's get into race 2. Actually, I'll ask them all to leave the track so we don't get any more crashes. Because of course we don't want any more freezing. That's the last thing we need. So let's spin the wheel and see where we're going for stage 2. Fantastic. Hosting the Festival of Speed in July, home to the infamous Hill Climb event, and of course the Revival Festival. We are heading to glorious Goodwood, and of course I think we'll go for the idyllic Twilight event this evening. So hopefully nobody's going to crash, well, at least before the event. And again, let's load in for another 7 minutes of qualifying in a moment. I'll be right back. So, let's get our qualifying session underway. One thing I enjoy doing, well, apart from watching the Formula 1 highlights on YouTube, because I don't have Formula 1 TV, is watching some of the old hill climb events at Goodwood, looking at some of the amazing lap times that have been set around the Goodwood circuit as well, and the recent Gymkhana style events they've been having a go at. Particularly impressed by the Mustang Mark E. Very, very slidey boy there. But not so much a fan of the way it sounds like an upset kettle. Speaking of upset, I think it sounds a bit of an upset around the back there, and that will be Cuzzy. Maybe trying to make his graffiti against the barrier a little more subtle. Can you see any chance of seeing what's happened there to Cuzzy? I'm not too sure. Meanwhile, I think Mario has left the room, so he'll have to miss the qualifying, possibly this entire event, which would be a shame. It's like several drivers are still getting used to navigating the circuit, as Wayno has found some of the grass there, still sliding as he finds his way back on. Not the best of lines there, but of course the qualifying session is as good a time as any to find the boundaries. Is Wayno there, still learning where the black stuff is. Perhaps if he has a really big spin, I'll have to save the replay and get a picture. So let's have a look there, as Kenobi seems to be the first one to navigate the circuit in one piece. Kai's the commentator, he's smashed the barrier as well. I think it's been good to watch through the chicane, if anybody makes it through the chicane. There's Brett, that's a no. Here comes Cuzzy. That's how it's done. Good job there, Cuzzy. And Carrot Cruncher and Dawes, all good, as is Nick Noon and Wayno. Mike is about to make his go at it, I believe. Okay, see Mike on board there. I'm not sure we can get on board with Mike at the moment. Have to try that in a minute then. Nick and Dawes and Wayno running very wide at turn 1. That's no hassle. What an absolute nightmare of a qualifying session. They've got 5 minutes to go, so I hope they pull it together. This is top quality racing. Gran Turismo, the real driving simulator. You heard it here first, folks. So let's see here, we've got Brady Carter also right up behind Kenobi. I think this is the last thing he really wants to be doing, as he chases him through the circuit, of course. Unless you're Nikita Mazepin, it's really not very nice to overtake people on the qualifying lap, especially with as many drivers spinning as we've seen tonight. It'd be suboptimal at best, I think. So let's see, also my keyboard's decided not to work again, which is very helpful. That Green Switch playing havoc with everyone, it seems. There we go. I think we're back now. Wonderful. So Bradley Carter set the pace there with a 1 minute 13.6, which is 2.5 seconds off of Kenobi, just behind him there in second place. So Kenobi also finding the track limits a little bit difficult to grasp at the moment. Wayno in third place with a 1 minute 17.4. So someone else is going off very brave in the background there. We've got Carrot Cruncher in fourth place with a 1 minute 17.8, looking to go another 2 seconds faster. Fantastic improvement there already. We've got Tom Williams in fifth with a 120.3. Nick Noon with a 120.6. Brett definitely far off at his own pace with a 127.1, as is Cuzzy with a 128.2. At the back of the moment we've got Dawes with a 128.2, Carl with a 129.7, Mike not quite facing the right way but saves it well with a 145. Hassel 159 and Willie D yet to set a lap. Brad now up in the pace to a 113.222, so 4 tenths faster already. As the rest of our drivers cross the line, let's have a look as Carrot Cruncher makes his way through the hairpin there. Let's have a look there. We see Nick Noon make his way through as Wayno clips the first barrier, a bit slidey there but saves it well. He's got Brett Rakech behind him as well. And we can see their Doors with a side exit there out of the last corner. Now we should see the qualifying shake up a little bit there. Doors, I think it's up into fourth place, I want to say there. Yes, with a 115.5. It'd be fantastic to see this pink mean machine up in the top 5 starting the race. Drivers should have about 2 more laps of qualifying. This is going to be an absolutely brilliant race. Any spins at turn 1, I think they are guaranteed. I'm sure you'll see a couple of people, if not on the first lap, definitely on the second lap, run that far too wide and find themselves in a field somewhere with some cows. Speaking of cows, Rabbit, I hope Daisy the cow is well. And if you're listening in, Daisy, moo moo, lots of love to you. So, with a minute and a half to go, Bradley Carter still sitting pretty at the top of the table with a 1 minute 13.2 as he gets very sliding into that double right. It's the double right. I thought it was the last corner, but no, he's at the first one. And slight bump off there. So that's the real driving simulator. No damage at all for these open wheelers. Kenobi making his way up the pack now with 114.1. That's his Tom Williams with a 115.7. But even there you can see 4th and 5th are separated by over a second. So these guys are really struggling to get it together here. Nick Noon, though, storming to the top of the table now with a 113.1. So he is now the man to beat as they head round onto what's likely their last lap there. I think that's Cuzzy in the back going... Well, it's not the case, that'd be with Doors, I think, going very wide there at the back of the shot. So they've not got long left if they want to get round in time for one more lap. Doors might just about make it, but I'm not sure many others will. We can see Wayno there starting to trail onto the back of Dawes. But see Dawes there makes a very interesting line there across the track. Not quite the line I'd recommend. So that's definitely out of the way of Wayno's. Hopefully he'll be on for a faster time there. Willie D getting himself up into those top few spaces as well with a 1:13.9, which I think is good enough for 4th place at the moment. This is pushing Wayno down to 10th place. But let's see how he gets on. Clipping that little left kink apex nicely. Washing wide. Taking this false chicane in a straight line. He's got 2.7 seconds off of his best time. So you should see him up into, I think, maybe 7th place. Clipping a lot of that apex there. I'm not sure that's entirely legal. Nick New going even faster with a 1:12.3. And Wayno's, he's thrown his lap away at the very end. He's not going to have time for another one. Even clipping the pit barrier for good measure. And I'll make sure I get some photos of that one. I'm very sorry, Wayno. So Nick Newman is the man to beat there with that 1:12.3. Has Bradley Carter got it in him? I don't think so. I think he stopped on the track there. That's his lap down. He's going to let the others go past for the time being. Carrot Cruncher looks like he might still be on a lap as well there as he heads into that into the top part of the circuit, now onto the back straight. But I don't think he's up on his current time. I have to see as he crosses the line for Sector 2. He's in fact 3/10 up. So this will be a good boost for him. If he keeps this time up, he will snatch 2nd place off of Bradley Carter. Let's see how he does as he heads into the chicane. Carrying 80 miles an hour through there. And Carl Tony's pulled onto the racing line and sport his lap. That is a big shame there. Carrot Cruncher is going to be very unhappy with that one, I'm sure. As he pulls into the pit lane, he knows his session is done. And I'm absolutely gutted for him there. What's Cuzzy got in the bag as he's about to cross the line? And with Brett Rickett. Cuzzy's 2 seconds off. Brett Rickett, no improvement from him either. Anybody else still yet to cross the line? I can't quite find them on my map. No. I think that must be everybody then. I think we're all about done. Someone's crossing the line. I can't see who it is. Big spin on the line. Nope. I cannot find who it is at all. Very helpful. So I think this should be our session done then. I think we're going to have Nick Noon on pole. Bradley Carter in 2nd. And Carrot Cruncher in 3rd, with Cuzzy taking 4th spot on the 2nd row. Willie D will be in 5th, Brett Rickett in 6th, Kenobi in 7th, and Dawes in 8th. After initially very promising qualifying session, didn't quite pan out for MFC Dawes. We've got Tom Williams in 9th and Wayno in 10th. No Hassle down in 11th, so he's got a lot of cake here. But now we're going to get underway with our 15-minute race for the 2nd leg of the Roulette Race Series. Now I think just to be safe, I think I'm going to ride on back with Cantona and see how turn 1 pans out for the rest of the field. This could be a pretty messy one there. Cantona with an excellent start there, pulling away straight away from Mike, leaving him for absolute dead on the grid. These guys are going side by side through turn 1. He's kept fairly clean, but looks like we've just lost Brett there at the start. He's been pushed wide and has not had a good time. I have to have a quick look then, see what's happened to Brett Rickett. So Brett starting in 6th place there. As we run on board with him, let's have a quick look. So he's heading round into turn 1. He's got a little bit sideways. I think he's just missed his braking zone and he's completely lost the turn-in for that corner. Poor luck for Brett Rickett there. Let's see if he can gain any more places. I think I already see an arrow that's stationary. I think he's about to come past. I'm not sure who that is. Looks like it must have been Tom Williams there, who's also had an off. Meanwhile, as we head down the field, we can see Nick Noon retains 1st place. Carrot Cruncher is right behind him in 2nd place, looking for a move up the inside. Carrot Cruncher does go for that move, but he's braked a little too early. Nick Noon still got that space around the outside. Just about keeps it in a straight line, but Carrot Cruncher goes side by side through the chicane, and that's a very bold move by Carrot Cruncher, but he's gone into the barrier as a result. This means he's gone down to 4th place. Really bold driving there by the vegan. But it's Unfortunately, I think he's bitten off more carrot than he can chew there, and he's now going to 4th place as Kenobi. Force was not with him, heading straight into the barrier there, and it looks like someone's followed him through. Maybe that was Wayno as well. They're both going to be losing the places as they rejoin the track. What's happened to Kenobi there? He's in 5th place, chasing down the carrot cruncher, but just maybe he's been a bit too aggressive on the steering input there, lost the rear, straight into the wall, and if we look back, there goes Wayno, straight past him as well. So not a great performance to, and now they're down in 11th there with Kenobi. Trying to get a bit of race with Brett up the inside there, really opportunistic driving, but Brett will take that back as they rush back up the hill. Set side a bit further forward. I think it's Brett, maybe he's gone a bit too wide. Is he on the grass? No, I think Kenobi's giving him a nudge. Get a move on as he pushes him round that double right-hander and now onto the back straight. Let's see, as we run on board then with Kenobi. If we get the cockpit view, there we go. So he's right in the slipstream there, reaching 255 k's or 158 miles an hour. Looks like Mike's braked very early there, and they both had to slide either way around him, like Hakkinen and Schumacher, to avoid any collisions there. Just about made it stick, but now Kenobi is right up behind Brett. A little bit slidey though, heading out of the chicane onto the main straight, and this will give Mike a good run down into turn 1. Has Mike got the legs to get past Kenobi? Have to have a look. Oh, bad view there. No, not for timing. Kenobi getting very slidey though. Mike a little bit more stable, easing the throttle in. Now he's on full power, but I think he just lost out there to Kenobi, so you have to try and win that one further around the track. Getting back to the front, I think we can see a huge train there at the top of our map from 1st to I think would be about 6th. I think Santo's 6th place has just gone off. That is Dawes making his car a little bit of a rougher ride through the grass there. So he's now fallen off the back of his pack. Just behind us now, we've got Wayno and Willie D battling for 7th place. We see there Wayno using 5th gear to try and avoid any wheel spinners. Dawes has gone sliding off into the grass there. Pull up for him, and he's now gone down to 8th place. We can see Mike buried down, and Dawes has lost it again. Not a great day for the pink driver there. Let's have a look. So he's sideways getting out of that corner, and he's lost it as soon as he comes back onto the tarmac. So he's now in the grass here. We can see there we've got I think it's Wayne and Willie D sliding past, and he's just got his foot down. He's just got no traction. All that torque going straight through the rear wheels, and he's got nowhere to put it down safely. And he's had a big spin there, and he's now battling with Cantona into the last corner just for 11th place. Cantona might do really well if he just keeps it on the track. He's going to keep getting in position, so he's done very well so far. Meanwhile, at the front, we've got Nick Noon 7/10 up on Cuzzy, but Cuzzy had a very good exit into this double right hander, so he's gaining that time back nice and quickly. Following Cuzzy is Carrot Cruncher, 1.5 seconds off, and then 2 off of him is Bradley Carter, another 2.5 back to No Hassle, and then a very healthy 8-second gap back to Willie D, who of course had a stormer last race, but has not been able to keep that consistency now. So let's go back to the front of the pack there. We can see Cuzzy going off the grass. He has to miss the chicane entirely and straight into the wall. Very fortunate I managed to catch that at that time, but he's going to be out the way of No Hassle. He's going to keep it out the way. Very fortunate there. So what's happened to Cuzzy? He's just gone very wide at that last corner, and of course on the grass you've got no brake in there at all. And he smashed it straight into the barrier. So that puts him down to 5th place. So it looks like Goodwood here is going to be all about consistency, all about keeping it on the track. After all, in order to finish first you must finish. Saying that though, Carrot Cruncher seems to have made some gains on Nick Noon, who's possibly had a mistake or some kind of incident, and is now up in 1st place. A very interesting debut there for the Carrot Cruncher, as Nick Noon now getting very slidey, now giving away 2nd place to Bradley Carter. It's only getting worse for the New Zealander, so he's really got to pick up the pace now, or he will well and truly find himself down under. Cuzzy now trying to make some inroads on those front 3 in 4th place. Sliding back down the pack, we've now got No Hassle in 5th place, Willie D in 6th place, Wayno in 7th, and they've got Kenobi in 8th. Brett is now moved up from Tom Williams from 9th place, who is down in 10th. Closely behind his Doors there in 11th place, and then towards the back of the pack we've got Mike, who unfortunately we've just managed to catch him sliding off the track. Will he save it though and make it for the next corner? I have to see as Cantona heads around, also on the grass there. These two really trying to see if these cars are any good off the road as well as on it. Not what I'd recommend. But they're going hammer and tong, and that's what we love to see at Amigos Racing Team. Again, check the description for how to get involved in our events, just like this. So we've got 8.5 minutes to go. Carrot Crunch leads the field by 1.5 seconds down to Bradley Carter in second, who's 1.5 off of Nick Noon in third. These three, I think, will be our runaway contenders should they all keep it on the track. A little bit further back there, we've got Cuzzy in fourth place. And then we can see in the back of our shot there, No Hassle starting to get involved in fifth place. He's got the crash test dummy on the on the side of his car. Hopefully we won't be seeing too much of that tonight. But we know Cuzzy is, No Hassle is very well for his rating his pit walls, the quality of the concrete and the metals involved. And he's very prone to getting up close and personal with those. I hope he's just hope this Honda has a good Euro end cap. We can see that Bradley's now taking the lead off of Carrot Cruncher. We can see they're just grinding the dirt to see where he's made that move. He's made it well in advance. It was like Carrot Cruncher's had a bad exit there on one of those previous corners. He's now trying to extend that gap. Only a second so far, but now 1.5. Now Carrot Cruncher's gone into the grass at the back there, we can see. So he's now lost another 2 seconds there to Brad. You can see the red delta to the leader in the top left corner there. And now he's got Cuzzy bearing down on him at 150 miles an hour, heading into the right-hand kink, and also a purple sector one, so Cuzzy might be on for our fastest lap. Carrot Cruncher again going wide, and now all the way off there into the Marshall stands. That's a very long way away. He's going to have to dig that one out very carefully. Or he can have Gran Turismo reset him. Another solid option there. So, think clever. Meanwhile, I think we've got another driver gone off in the back there. We've got Willie D and Wayno, and it looks like No Hassle has had an off as well. He would hate me to put a replay. Oh no, there's a replay. There's No Hassle sliding off the dirt with Wayno, I believe, as well. He's made a slightly better recovery, but No Hassle has kept it in third gear with no power out of the engine. He's getting back up to speed very slowly, unfortunately. He's now at risk from Kenobi 3 seconds down the road, as is Brett Rickett 3 seconds from him. He's got Dawes closing in behind him though. Let's get a ride on board there with MFC Dawes chasing Brett Rickett. You can see he's within that 7.5 tenth gap, so he's in the slipstream. The Honda topping out about 158 miles an hour, so it's just enough to get around Goodwood at top speed. Braking nice and late there, gaining another 2 tenths alone on Brett Rickett in that second to last corner. Nice and tight against those walls there in the chicane and putting the power down. Staying in the slipstream, but not as well as Brett. He might just break the toe as they head onto turn 1 there. You see Dawes trying to keep it under control. Very slidey there, but he's making very good progress there. However, Brett has got through that turn just slightly better. You see he's now going to hit that 8 tenth barrier, and they will be out the slipstream from NFC Dawes. Quick look at the front again. Bradley Carter is now 2 seconds up on Nick Noon in second place. We've got Carrot Cruncher 12.5 seconds down the road there, so not great stuff for him. He's definitely had one too many slides there, and that's now got him falling prey to Cuzzy in fourth place. We have a quick look on board then with Cuzzy as he closes down on the Carrot Cruncher. Easy on the steering inputs there, but not wide enough up that left-hand corner. Now he's gone off into the grass, throwing time away there to the Carrot Cruncher, and also putting him in the grasp there of Willie D, now bearing down the main straight in fifth place. We head back, we've got Wayno, followed by No Hassle, getting a little bit slide out that last corner, but just about makes it work. Kenobi, Brett and Dawes flying through that last chicane there. Dawes a little bit more than the other two, and he's put it in the grass and off. Not what you want to see there when he was doing so well to catch up onto the other two drivers in front. I think if we stick with Kenobi though, we can see now he is getting to the slipstream there of Brett Rickett. If we run on board then with Kenobi, let's see how much he gains. He's 5.5 tenths back, now 5 tenths. But maybe a little bit brash on the steering there. It's now cost him some time heading down the straight. Braking there, easing him back on the throttle, and now into this left-hand corner. Brett getting very slidey, we can see, and Kenobi with a much more consistent steering line, now gaining a tenth back on him in return. Then into the right-hand double hand turn here. Brett again kicking up some dirt, but not running too wide. Kenobi keeping it on the grass. We can hear those tyres screaming under Kenobi's car as he throws it in, desperately seeking some traction, but it's just not happening. And Brett is now starting to pull away again. You'll see a little bit of that delta fall back though as Kenobi hits his top speed, as they ran into the last few corners of the track there. Kenobi clipping that rumble strip again, not using too much to unsettle the car, and throwing the car through the chicane, right, left, and then back onto the main straight. Unfortunately, Brett has just eked out another couple of tenths there to evade the slipstream of Kenobi. Brad's still about 1.7 there in front of Nick Noon, so keeping it consistent. We see, look at his lap times on the right there. Apart from the previous 1:12.8, we've got a 1:12.2, 1:12.2, 1:12.3, 1:12.6, 1:12.4. So he's very, very consistent. I think he's managed to dial himself into a good pace, and if he can keep this, it should be a comfortable win for the Rallycross driver. Nick Noon, though, bearing down on Bradley Carter, given though Barry's a little bit more of a wider berth, and that might be what's cost him in the long run. We can see that delta 1.85, 1.87, 1.92, 1.9396. So he definitely could do with cutting a little bit more time through that last chicane if he wants to make some inroads. Carrot Cruncher, though, 13 seconds back. Not the best race for him after a very, very promising start. It's disappointing to see. But let's see if he can get any more gains in these last 2.5 minutes. And at the very least, fight off Cuzzy, chasing him down in 4th place. Only 1.5 seconds and closing. Further down the pack, we've got Willie D making his way into turn 1 with no hassle in 6th place. As I believe that might be a lapped car just behind Willie D there. No hassle's got Wayno, only 1.5 seconds behind him. The pressure is on. He knows he's got to keep it on the track for these last few laps. Should be another 2 laps left in them, I believe. There's Wayno running very wide again. He loves that grassy outside turn 1. Look at all the skid marks in the track. And he's already clipping the barrier. You can see Kenobi now, seeing him in the gravel, smelling the back of that car, knowing there's another place to be gained. He's made 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, just on that mistake alone. And he's now only 1.5, now only 1 behind Wayno. So we can get back on board with Kenobi as he starts chasing down 7th place. So easy on the gear shifts. Of course, with these MR cars, you've got to brake in a straight line. Don't turn until it is sensible and stable. No gear shifting while you're in the corners in case you upset the balance, because the last thing you want to do is be facing that corner backwards. Not the best thing, and not the most optimal line, of course. Kenobi now within a second, but not within the slipstream range just yet. He's got another couple more tenths to gain. Wayno's had a good entrance into the last few corners, but Kenobi's clawed it back on the exit. How is he going to handle the final chicane? Very, very well there. As Wayno has made a complete hash of it, I think, and he's now in the wall, I think. Let's have a quick look. What's happened to Wayno there? So had a very good run out of the final corner, but into the chicane, he's just been braking, steering, and of course that's really upset the car. Kenobi's going to fly past on the outside there, and then we're going to see Brett now starting to appear in the frame. Only 2-3 seconds behind, so maybe a mistake from Brett there as well. But we're now into the last 30 seconds of the race. We can see Bradley Carter heading onto the main straight for one more lap. Nick Noon is only now 9 tenths behind him, so he's definitely made some inroads on him with the fastest lap as well previously, with that 1:11.9 on lap 11. So I think we're going to ride on board with Nick Noon as he navigates the lapped traffic there of MFC doors, or hopefully soon. Maybe perhaps doors will pull out the way, or just let them go through at some point. Hopefully doors won't make a mistake, of course. That would be horrible to see. He's going to have to make a move on the outside. He's not making it easy for the New Zealander. He's going to have to find his way up the inside, force his way through, and indeed he does. But you can see the delta on the top left. He's lost a second to Bradley Carter, having to fight there with the back markers. So I think with Carrot Cruncher's botched qualifying lap and Dawes' traffic management there may be some discussions for the stewards at the end of this race indeed. However, with all the rest of our participants finishing on the previous lap, it looks like it's just going to be Bradley, Nick Noon and Carrot Cruncher to ride home lap 13. Bradley Carter keeping it nice and smooth, risking nothing else as he makes his way through the final chicane, out of the chicane and across the line to take race number 2 of the roulette race there. Nick Noon coming home in second, and Carrot Cruncher making his way round the final few corners of the track to take home a very well deserved 3rd place. Excellent driving. We're definitely going to have a chat with him after the race. And why not afford yourself a spin? You deserve it. So let's get back in with our contenders tonight for some feedback. Good evening, everybody. You are, well, I can't find the video now, but you should be live on ART TV, so please keep it PG.
Okay.
Firstly, Carrot Cruncher.
Hello.
A fantastic race from you. How do you feel about that third place?
Terrific.
Oh, I can see all the comments loading up now. So those of you on YouTube, I'm very sorry. I've literally seen all your comments load up. Dexter, your dad's not bad at the game. He's just not quite as good as everyone else. So don't be too harsh, please. Meanwhile, yes, so Carrot Cruncher, tell us, please, about the race. What's going through your mind there? Third place, well done.
It was really, really difficult for me because I saw the aeroplanes in the middle of the field and I had to focus so much on the track because I love aeroplanes and their little spinny things and things like that. And balloons. I love balloons. And if I see a helicopter, I stop racing because I love helicopters. But yeah, the race was okay. Thank you very much for asking. How are you, sir? Are you okay?
I was fine, other than the fact that we just went from 6 viewers to 3. Thank you for your input, Carrot Cruncher. And may the aeroplanes be ever in your favour.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Right. In all my minutes of interviewing, that was just straight up dodgy. Nick Noon. Are you there, Nick Noon?
Yo.
Second place.
I am.
Very close fought race to the end there. Tell us what's going through your mind, because at one point you were only about half a second behind Bradley.
Yeah. There was such a tough track with those cars. I think, it was just a question of who could keep it on the track the longest without coming off. And I had a little off, and he got past, but it was a fun fight trying to get back.
Of course, I have to agree. If I consumed as many vegetables as there were spins, I would myself be a carrot cruncher. But I think it was more about crunching barriers this evening, I think.
Very good for Australia. Very good for Australia.
I'm not going to get into political boundaries or international borders. All I know is that he's British. Last one, Bradley Carter. Another convincing win for you, it seems. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a fantastic race at the beginning between myself, Carrot Cruncher, Nick Noon, and...
okay, you're a racing driver, we get it. We're going to pack it later, boys. We've got the final race for this evening. Best of luck for the last event.
Thank you. Bye.
Of course, no offence to Bradley, but he's going to give a real racing driver interview, and to be honest, I'll just watch Lewis Hamilton highlights if he want that. Now, last race. I better make sure that I set it to the practice race. We're not having any... Oh, the endurance race, sorry. So we're not having any qualifying. We are, however, going to mix it up with our reverse grid. And let's see where the roulette wheel takes us for stage 3. And those in the comments, if I have a quick catch up now, no hassle for no hassle. Yeah, he did manage to keep it on the track this time, sometimes. RIP to that person in the chat. Yes, thank you, Ewan. And someone's TV died there as well. And it looks like our final race there is going to be Lago Maggiore East. So we'll set that to I think I set it to evening. Well, I've been in evening for the whole evening. Let's finish it off there. So as soon as the drivers get on track, we are going to be underway, and I think this is going to be absolutely chaotic at turn 1. And if not turn 1, most likely here. After I pull this speed, the final hairpin is going to be absolutely atrocious. I am 99% sure. But there is only one way to find out. Once all the drivers get on track, we're going to dive straight in for a 15-minute reverse grid race to finish off the roulette race event tonight. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, you want to get involved, check the link in the Discord or in the description for our Discord. Loads of offers, loads of various events going on for anything that will suit your taste. So let's get the race underway. See the drivers there trying to sneak a little bit of practice in, but I think we can already see a couple of spins on the map, so this might be an exciting finish to our proceedings tonight. Of course, it would help if I press spectate and see what's going on the grid. So we can see there Mario, who joined, unfortunately had a connection issue at the start, will be starting on the front row of the grid alongside Cantona. I think we're going to ride on board though with Kenobi in the midfield just to see how this race pans out. So those 5 red lights will be on now. We see Kenobi revving up, getting ready to go. Full revs, 5 red lights. And away we go. Let's get on board then with Kenobi. So he's a very good start up in the 6th place. Now in the 5th place going past Mike. What is turn 1 going to be like though? He kept it clean, maybe a tiny bit of a tap in the rear I think, but he's now into 4th place as well, Kenobi. Great stuff from him, 3 off of just the first straight, but now he's losing it as the drivers cut up the inside. Still keeping 4th place though, it seems good job there from Kenobi. Mario and Kana still up at the front for the time being, great stuff by them. Tom Williams having to defend very hard there for 3rd place, and he's going to lose that to Kenobi around the outside I think, possibly even no hassle around the outside. He's still only just now going 3 wide alongside with Cuzzy as well. I think that's Brett having a look up the inside as well. Make it 4 wide. This is going to be an absolute nightmare. Someone's gone off at the background as well. I can't quite tell who that is. I don't know if I can see, but now we're on board with Willie D instead then. As he's found, we've got another 3 wide behind us there with Carrot Cruncher and Dawes. So there's Carrot Cruncher there, now in 11th place. I think Dawes has run very wide there. We can see that on the track map in the bottom right. He's going to use that place, the Carrot Cruncher. He's just blocked off Mike though. That's not going to be a very helpful line. Someone's gone wide, heading down in the main straight. Let's have a look at the hairpin though. Who's going to make it a hairpin? Kenobi into P2, even P1 as Mario's gone very wide. And an excellent lap 1 there for ART Kenobi, gaining 6 places in the first lap alone. Can he keep it though? That is the question. As Mario's now having to battle with Cuzzy into turn 1. Cuzzy will be on the right hand side outside for turn 1, but that will be inside for turn 2 if he keeps it. However, someone is in the wall, and someone's still on the outside there as well, it looks like. I can't tell who that is. That is going to be... oh, I still can't see. Really not helpful. Oh, I think that must be just the guy in front of him here. I could not see who for the life of me who's gone off there. But hopefully it's been a bit of an easier track to manage for our drivers than some of the previous ones. Let's get on board then with Cuzzy. You see he's defending there from Brett Roquette. Brett goes flying up the inside. He's going to hold it though with all that momentum. And someone else goes flying up the back. I think it was Mario who's lost it now. He's down to 7th place. As you can see the tracker on the left. Cuzzy though keeping P2. But now they're just bleeding time to Kenobi. Is now a 2nd up the road. He's now got no hassle behind him. In 4th place Brett Roquette. And now he's got 5th Willie D bearing in as well. So all these guys battling now just for 3rd place on the podium. There's only 2.5 minutes gone so far. Let's ride on board with Willie D. Up the hill we can see they're trying to brake nice and late there. I think Brett has given a slight bump there to Cuzzy, but actually helps him out the corner but onto the grass. He's going to have a cleaner run there around the outside. Cuzzy tries to defend but moves off of the line there to let them go. That means Cuzzy is now in 5th place unfortunately. Let's see how this unfolds as they head down into turn 1. Bradley Carty on the Delta as well, bearing down on Cuzzy but not going for a move. Maybe take a little bit of pity, he's lost 3 places in 1 corner. You know, maybe he's got kids. Leave him alone. So Bradley settling there into 6th place. Very good few laps for him as well, considering obviously he would have started at the back of the grid, being our previous race winner. And he's now looking for a move up the inside of Cuzzy. A little bit of a bump draft there possibly as they head down into this long sweeping right-hander. Shifting down to 4th gear, going for a gentle line in. We can see that I think Brett's gone very wide. Now Bradley's looking up the inside of Cuzzy, but through his triple chicane, I'm not sure he's going to make that move in the chicane, and he does indeed back out for the time being, maybe hoping that Cuzzy has a worse line through this little complex. Cuzzy though using all of that flat rumble strip to keep that advantage, and most importantly as well, keep that slipstream to no hassle in 3rd place. Who look on there with Ryan Bad is, you know, trying to get that line on the final corner, jumping over the sausage curb, unsettling the car. You see he had to go very slow to avoid hitting the grass there. Bradley Carter now gaining. We can see him drawing level there on the right hand side. This should be an easy move into turn 1. We see a little bit of tyre bang in there. It's Cuzzy going to dive inside. He's indeed going to brake very late. They give each other plenty of space. Cuzzy will keep P4 for the time being. But these guys are now 3.5 seconds behind Kenobi, who's just drifting around that left-hander and out of sight. So they need to make sure they can work together if they want to be in a chance of winning this race. A bit more battling going on further down the grid between Dawes and Brett, who's also run wide again. And Brett is in the barrier. What's happened to Brett Rickett? Engage reverse there. So he's gone backwards into turn 1. An incredible manoeuvre from the Belgian. Trying to get it back out there as he tries to avoid Tom Williams. He keeps it off the racing line. Very, very safe drive in there. But as he heads around, I think he's just lost it again, shifting down for no reason. And he's in the barrier. That's the last thing he needed. And that's going to put Brett all the way down to the back of the pack indeed. We're on board though with ART Kenobi. He's now a second ahead of Willie D as they head into the braking zone for the final corner. So we've got Kenobi there, Willie D in second, no hassle in third. Bradley in fourth, getting very slidey, but that allows Cuzzy back up the inside, so he's now in fifth. Nick Noon in sixth. Wayno in seventh. Tom Williams in eighth. And they've got a 5-second gap back to Dawes. Come up the hill and into view now for 9th place. 2 seconds off of Mario in 10th. Carrot Cruncher 11th. As we say in the chat there, Brett's had some mechanical issues, so he's not been able to continue with the race, I don't think. We head down, we've got Mike heading through the last corner slowly and gently, making sure to avoid any kind of loss of grip or spin, and then Carltono bringing up the rear, 13th place. Again, very calm, gentle driving. Not the fastest driver on our grid by any means, but of course any experience gained from our series is bound to be helpful. Quick look at the track map though. I think we've got a fight going on between 3rd place. You can see there, no hassle, just breaking away there, but Cuzzy and Bradley are still going at it for 4th place there. Cuzzy getting very sideways as he heads out of this triple chicane and back onto the back straight. Going purple though through sector 2, meaning he may be on for the fastest lap should he keep that pace. Bradley defending on the inside there, they're moving back onto the racing line. As we see there, I think Willie D's actually Kenobi's had a massive accident there somewhere. What's happened to Kenobi? Let's get a quick view of that if we can. So Kenobi is obviously gone very wide there, out of that left-hander, Willie D taking 1st place off of him. As he tries to rejoin, he just can't get it straight enough. Willie D waiting up for him, they both bumped each other. So a little bit of gentlemanly driving there, that's gone completely against them. Bradley Carter getting caught up in that mess as well, and that means that he's been put down into 5th place. We see that as well, I think Wayno getting a bit sideways there. Good to see Willie D was happy to give that place back, but of course Kenobi just went full savage on him and just bombed up the inside instead. So, not ideal. So, our current running order as we head into the last 7 minutes of our race. We're about halfway through now. We've got no hassle battling for lead there with Cuzzy, who is just behind. Of course, Cuzzy giving some space back there as he runs very close. No hassle into the grass. Cuzzy up the inside on the track on the racing line and makes that 1st place. And he's managed to drop Hassel right up the slipstream as well. So there's going to have a lot of catching up to do to make that time back on him. Also allowing Willie D back into the fray, only 1.3 seconds behind, as he chases the pair down into the last corner and onto lap 7. Nick Noon also trying to get involved there in 4th place. Bradley Carter trying to fight his way back up from 5th. Kenobi behind him in 6th. Wayno right behind in 7th. Now comes Tom Williams in 8th place. And we see going through the straight there, Mario getting very sideways into the barrier as he hunts down MFC Dawes. 2 seconds behind him is Carrot Cruncher. Fantastic race for him in the last event, and some interesting commentary. Maybe you should stop crunching on the carrots. Mike down in 12th place there, and Carltono bring up the rear in 13th. I think we see there Cuzzy has now made a very healthy gap there to Willie D, so maybe another incident there for our 2nd place driver. And also 2.3 seconds purple. He could be for an absolute blinder of a lap if he keeps this together. Willie down in 2nd, no hassle in 3rd, but he's got Nick Noon looking up the inside there for 4th place. Let's ride on board there with the New Zealander. So lift off the throttle, trying to get it pointed the right direction for the left-hand kink. Now the right-hander shifting up the car on the throttle again. Very clever tactic there from the New Zealand driver. Chasing No Hassle through this uphill back straight. Only 4 tenths behind as they head into the final corner. So we see him running very wide, hoping for a bit of a cutback, but he's got very slidey instead. And it's not the optimal line. That's going to bring Bradley Carter into the fray now. We see Brett in the comments saying his wheels shifted down automatically, which is a bit of a shame. Of course, we do get the odd mechanical function from time to time. It does happen with the sim racing equipment, but hopefully this can be rectified soon. In the meantime, No Hassle bearing right down to the back. Nick Noon bearing right to the back of No Hassle there. Only 2 tenths of a gap. And closing, losing a bit of time there out of turn 2, but trying to make those gains as he heads downhill onto the end of Sector 1. Brett, I'm glad you're enjoying the commentary. I'm doing what I can. It is a hectic race series, but if I give you any coverage, I'm glad to tell you I'm very proud to be doing that. So we've still got Ryan very comfortably out in the lead there from Willie Dean second. We just see him exiting the shot there up the hill. No Hassle in third, Nick Noon in fourth. Bradley Carter chasing the pair of them down in fifth place. A healthy 3.5 second gap to Kenobi, who's only 1 second off of Wayno, down in 7th place. As he gets very slidey into this triple chicane complex, going to lose him a bundle of time there to Kenobi, and lose more time behind him to Tom Williams, unless of course he's made a mistake. He's getting very slidey through the chicane as well there. We've now got Mario down in 9th place, Dawes in 10th, and Carrot Cruncher bearing down on him in 11th place. As I said before, not the best event for the Carrot Cruncher, but he's had a very good exit out the chicanes there, chasing Dawes, hugging the inside line as they head into the last corner. If Dawes goes for a brave move around the outside, he's not going to be able to defend unless he's a bit late on the brakes instead. Carrot Cruncher sees that door, walks straight through it, and is now up into 10th place and in the slipstream of Mario, but Dawes is not going to give that up without a fight. We can see him there looking to the inside as they head over the start-finish line. Is there going to be contact? It looks like it might be a little bit there. Carrot Cruncher's in the barrier and sideways. Looks like Dawes maybe thinks he was responsible and is very kindly allowed Carrot Cruncher to rejoin the track. Or he's just going to drive off and leave him. No, he's lifting off. That's very, very gentlemanly driving now, I think. Unless, of course, Carrot Cruncher decides he's had enough. I can't quite tell there. No, I think he's happy to let that go. Meanwhile, I think at the front of the pack, Ryan, his badge, has made a bit of a mistake. He's now only 1.4 ahead of Willie D. There's another one. That's 1 second now. Willie D soaring around the outside of that corner there. He's now only 1 tenth behind. Makes a very late dive bomb into the final corner. And it looks like he may be trying to make it stick, but he's going to have more momentum around the outside. Cuzzy with a much better line. But Willie D's going to floor it down this home straight onto lap 10. I think we've got about another 2 more laps, maybe 3 more left in the tank. Setting the fastest lap there of a 1:19.5. Really trying to push the race and get Cuzzy scared of his real race pace. Cuzzy, however, looking very dicey as they head through turn 2 there. Right behind Willie D as they head now towards the downhill end of Sector 1. Cuzzy keeps it a lot more stable through that corner, and he's now almost right alongside with Willie D. Let's have a look. He's now indeed side by side. No wheel banging this time, but they all head together into this long right hand uphill corner. Cuzzy does have the racing line and an easy move there on Willie D for first place. However, running very wide into the grass, Willie D's going to try and make more gains around the outside. How will they enter this corner? Cuzzy a little bit more stable, Willie D a bit more slidey. And you can see on the delta to the top left, that's cost Willie D about 1.5 tenths there as they now head through out of Sector 2 and onto the back stretch before the final hairpin. Ryan's not had the best run through there though. Willie D's gained all that time back. I think he's quite happy now just to sit in the slipstream, take that place. But Cuzzy's made an awful mistake, braking while turning, and he's lost that position there. And he's now gone down to 4th place. Let's have a quick look there as he slams the brakes on from 150 miles an hour. Turning in, but he's just not got the stability, and in counter steering has made an even bigger mistake now. We see there Nick Noon and No Hassle go past as well. Bradley Carter just going through there as well. We can see he's in front of Cuzzy now and battling for 3rd place up the inside of No Hassle and the inside of Nick Noon, but will be the outside for the next corner, so we have to give that one away. We've got a fantastic 4-way fight for 2nd place with just 1 minute to go. This will be the last lap of the race, and it is anybody's guess who will finish on the podium. Unfortunately, this isn't an outcome that we can do on the roulette wheel. It's got to be solved on track. At the moment, it looks like Nick Noon is going to be the guy to beat, as Bradley has a look up the inside, just making his presence felt in those mirrors. But it looks like maybe No Hassle's tried to make the most of that instead, and he's indeed up into third place. It's like Bradley, by trying to scare one driver, has left an opportunity open for another one. However, he's going to be looking up the inside there as Cuzzy now takes fourth place. I mean, it's now Nick Noon in second, No Hassle in third, but now in fourth as Cuzzy goes at the inside, No Hassle, but No Hassle flying around the outside is going to try and cut back on the inside. A little bit of tyre banging there now. He's gone into the grass as Bradley Carter moves at the inside of the pair of them into second place. I think it's safe to say Willie D's got this one sewn up, but it looks like we can have a real grandstand finish on for the final podium place. Willie D sliding over the line in style. Nick Noon in second, but who's going to be third? It's just going to be No Hassle on the line, only half a tenth in it. And then we've got Cuzzy and Kenobi, 5th and 6th respectively. Really close finish for those two. We've got Wayno bringing it home in 7th place. Tom Williams clipping the grass there, but should be a comfortable 8th place for him. Mario Coelho in 9th as well. Cara Cruncher and Dawes battling to the line. Let's have a look here. Who is going to take this one home? As Dawes pulls out that last corner onto the grass. He's not going to have a chance to catch up with him now, it seems. But good racing by these two for the final top 10 place. And then rounding out the order, I think we're likely going to have Mike down in 12th and Cantona in 13th place. Let's give these guys a little bit of their time just before the race finishes. There's Cantona heading down into the final corner as Mike crosses the line and takes the checkered flag for 12th. And finally, Cantona making his way over the finish line to round off tonight's proceedings. So Willie D, the only other race winner for tonight. We'll have a chat with him in the post-race interviews. And definitely we'll have a chat with those guys fighting for second, third and fourth. You see there, Willie D up 10 places since the start. It's a very consistent race from him, putting him out on top. Let's have a chat with the drivers before we finish up tonight. Good evening, drivers. You're live on ART. Keep it clean as you do on the track. Willie D, a convincing victory. Anything you want to say about that one? So you and Kenobi were fighting for positions there, you say? Well, fair enough. If there are mistakes to be made, you've got to capitalise where you can. I think it was we got there almost a 4-second gap there to Nick Noon in second. But what a race that was in that final lap for that final few podium places. Nick, maybe a little bit of an accident due to happen there. I think not just on the track, but maybe in the trouser department. That was a very close finish. What was going through your mind there in that last lap?
Awesome. I was just thinking, try not to go off. Try not to go off. That was it. Trying to catch up to Hassel and defend Bradley. That was absolutely awesome.
That was fantastic racing for you at the end. And of course, No Hassle picking Bradley Carter for that final podium spot. You must be ecstatic.
It's fantastic beating my least favourite rallycross driver. It's yeah, it just means the world to me, you know. Yeah.
Well, I guess they do say.
I'm still waiting for Big Banky.
Yeah, Rabin went from Big Banky Boy but realised he's on the wrong track.
Oh, I see. So,
apologies.
It does happen. It's a very common mistake to make here, but again, well done, No Hassle, for a very close, almost photo finish there with Bradley Carter. Bradley Carter, you must be absolutely miffed to not have that third place on the podium, mustn't you?
Yeah, it was disappointing, but what's
yes, it was indeed. And Kenobi, you were having a fantastic race. Kenobi, what happened? You were out front, and then all of a sudden disappeared. Talk to us, please.
Who?
Kenobi, you there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Yeah, you were having a fantastic race, out in front by about a second and a half, and then it all disappeared. What happened?
Just through the S's, came out horribly and snapped back, made a bit of contact with wheel, and then when it's thrown me back onto track, I've just pounded into the back of him.
The
Spun
force
me
wasn't
out.
with him tonight.
It's
Fair
disgusting
enough.
driving.
It
With
does
a bit
happen.
of force feedback.
And I think speaking of a
there was
dodgy incident,
nothing
before we
there
wrap up,
really.
I want to quickly talk to Dawes and Carrot Cruncher. What happened there at turn 1?
Turn 1. What, dangerous doors, you mean?
Yes, I understand you had your doors smashed in, but these cars don't have any. Talk to me, what's happened?
I know, mate. It's just Dawsey said, "What's this?" Carrot Cruncher and just took me out.
So but that was
mentality.
watch this over the team radio.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, I'd love to see that from Valtteri Bottas, but not necessarily on the Amigos Racing Team channel. Dawes, can you explain your thought processes as you make that manoeuvre?
Manoeuvre?
What maneuver?
The rather not so subtle manoeuvre that caused Carrot Crunch to enter turn 1 backwards.
Just an accident.
Just an accident.
Yeah. And that's why he hasn't apologised yet, but it's okay, no problem.
Well, I was going to say, he kind of slowed down and you didn't catch up, and then he kind of seemed to go, okay, bye, and disappeared into the sunset.
Yeah, because Robin told me to.
I did tell him to go. Because I knew I'd catch him because he's slow, so I knew I'd catch him.
Well, we love a bit of fighting talk here on the post-race interviews, so I'm sure Dawes will remember that as we head into next week's proceedings.
Remember, you're my team captain.
You don't have to remind him to punt me off, mate. He'll do that all by himself, believe you me.
I'm sure Carrot Cruncher can go to Newcastle and say sorry. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a quick trip if you take the Honda to him for. On that note then, guys, we're going to leave you for this evening, so thanks for racing and have a safe evening and a great rest of your weekend. Take care, guys.
Bye, Squid. Love you, mate. Love you. Bye. Bye.
And on that note, we're going to end our stream there. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I've had a fantastic time commentating it. I hope you've had such a good time, an equally good time watching it. Next week, who knows where we're going to be? Who knows what we're going to be driving? The only way you're going to find out is by staying tuned and being here next Friday for round 3 of the ART Roulette Race. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.